As for Burkina Faso, it's been 8 years since we have been facing the most barbaric and violent form of colonialism, barbarism. We are imposed this modern form of slavery. We were taught one thing. A slave that cannot rebel does not deserve pity.
What happens when the West can't control an African leader? What they do is use another African leader, mostly the one they literally purchase, against the one they hate. They feed the purchased leader to blame the one they can't buy. This way, they want to show the world that the leader who didn't bow down to the West was not good for Africa by putting false blame. But no one can hide reality. After Ghana's president blamed Burkina Faso for terrorism, the leader of the state showed evidence of its innocence and told the world what reality is. But why did Ghana's president sell himself to the West? Let's find out. During the U.S. African Leaders Summit, Ghana's president, Nana Akufo-Addo, asserted that Burkina Faso's military administration had allied with Russian mercenaries from the Wagner Group. Akufo-Addo said these mercenaries were enlisted to counter insurgency within Burkina Faso's borders. The gravity of the situation further escalated when he claimed that, in return for their services, a portion of Burkina Faso's southern territory had been allocated to Russia. These weighty allegations became the epicenter of diplomatic tension between Burkina Faso and Ghana, leading to a strong denial from Burkina Faso's military leader, Ibrahim Traore. Upon facing these accusations, Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso's military leader, delivered a resolute denial during a recent interview. He refuted the claims and emphasized their lack of foundation, portraying them as untrue. Traore's unwavering dedication to safeguarding Burkina Faso's reputation against what he deems groundless accusations is evident in his firm response. And what about the international community? What do they have to say about it? The international community closely monitors the unfolding situation between Ghana and Burkina Faso. The allegations of an association with Russian mercenaries have sparked widespread concern and speculation. Various nations and global organizations have expressed interest in the matter, calling for a thorough investigation to ascertain the truth behind the claims. Traore's vehement denial has added complexity to the situation, heightening the conspiracy surrounding the issue. Ghana's president, Akufo-Addo, has not only made serious allegations against Burkina Faso, but has also presented what he claims to be evidence supporting the accusations. While the specific details of the evidence have not been disclosed to the public, President Akufo-Addo has hinted at the involvement of intelligence reports and testimonies pointing to a connection between Burkina Faso and Russian mercenaries. The nature and credibility of this evidence have come under scrutiny, with critics questioning whether it provides a solid basis for the allegations. The international community awaits further clarification and a more detailed presentation of the evidence to assess its validity and relevance to the accusations against Burkina Faso. How has Russia reacted to all this? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. The allegations of Burkina Faso's association with Russian mercenaries have inevitably drawn Russia into the diplomatic spotlight. Russia has categorically denied any involvement in the situation, distancing itself from the accusations made by Ghana's president. The Russian government has issued an official statement expressing its surprise and disappointment at the allegations, describing them as baseless and lacking any factual foundation. Russia has called for a fair and impartial investigation, emphasizing the importance of relying on concrete evidence before making conclusions. The allegations against Burkina Faso and its military leader, Ibrahim Traore, have reverberated beyond the borders of Ghana, affecting the country's relations with other African nations. Some neighboring countries have expressed concern over the allegations, calling for a peaceful resolution and a thorough investigation to determine the truth. The situation has also led to a cautious approach from other African nations in their dealings with Burkina Faso. Diplomatic ties may be strained as countries await the outcome of the investigations before making any firm commitments or taking a definitive stance on the matter. The allegations against Burkina Faso and Ghana have significantly impacted the political landscape. President Akufo-Addo's decision to publicly accuse Burkina Faso of involvement with Russian mercenaries has sparked debates and discussions among the political elite and the general public. The president's supporters commend his boldness in addressing national security, while critics question the timing and motive behind the accusations. The internal political discourse has become polarized, with various factions expressing divergent views on the credibility of the allegations and the necessity of a thorough investigation. In response to the allegations, Burkina Faso has taken proactive steps to address the situation and mitigate potential damage to its reputation. Apart from Ibrahim Traore's public denial, Burkina Faso has expressed its willingness to cooperate fully with any international investigation that may be initiated. Additionally, the government of Burkina Faso has invited representatives from Ghana and other concerned nations to engage in diplomatic talks to resolve the issue. This diplomatic approach emphasizes Burkina Faso's commitment to addressing the allegations through dialogue and cooperation rather than allowing tensions to escalate further. The allegations of Burkina Faso's association with Russian mercenaries carry significant implications for regional security in West Africa. The situation has heightened concerns among neighboring countries about the potential involvement of external actors in the region's internal affairs. The need for stability and security in West Africa is crucial, and the allegations could prompt regional organizations and coalitions to reassess their security strategies and cooperation mechanisms. The outcome of the investigations and the subsequent diplomatic resolutions will likely shape regional security dynamics in the foreseeable future. What role has the media played? Media coverage has played a pivotal role in shaping public perception of the allegations against Burkina Faso. The extensive reporting and analysis by local and international media have disseminated information and perspectives. Public opinion has been influenced by the tone and framing of news stories, with some outlets emphasizing the need for a thorough investigation and others speculating on the potential geopolitical implications of the allegations. The media's role in shaping public discourse underscores the significance of responsible reporting in times of diplomatic tension and international scrutiny. But what allegations were made by Ghana's president regarding Burkina Faso's involvement with Russian mercenaries that triggered Burkina Faso? During the U.S. African Leaders Summit, Ghana's president, Nana Akufo-Addo, asserted that Faso's military administration had engaged Russian mercenaries from the Wagner Group. According to his claims, these mercenaries were enlisted to aid in combating insurgency within Faso's borders. Akufo-Addo went further to allege that, as compensation for their services, a portion of Faso's southern territory had been allocated to Russia. These specific claims formed the basis of the diplomatic tension between Faso and Ghana, leading to a strong denial from Faso's military leader, Ibrahim Traore. Burkina Faso's military leader, Ibrahim Traore, has vehemently rejected the allegations leveled by Ghana's president. Traore, in a press conference, categorically denied any involvement with Russian mercenaries from the Wagner Group. He challenged the credibility of the evidence presented by Ghana, emphasizing that Burkina Faso remains committed to handling its internal security matters without relying on external military support. Additionally, Traore raised questions about the timing and motive behind President Akufo-Addo's accusations. He suggested that the allegations might be politically motivated to tarnish Burkina Faso's international image. The counter-arguments by Burkina Faso highlight the complexities of the diplomatic dispute and the differing perspectives on the nature of their relationship with Russia. Did Wagner Group say anything about the accusations? The alleged Russian mercenary organization implicated in the accusations, the Wagner Group, has also stated in response to the claims made by Ghana's president. The group categorically denied involvement in Burkina Faso's internal affairs, stating that they have not been contracted or engaged by the Burkina Faso military administration. The Wagner Group expressed surprise at being dragged into the diplomatic dispute, asserting that they operate within the bounds of international law and do not engage in activities that violate the sovereignty of nations. This denial adds another layer of complexity to the situation. as it raises questions about the integrity of the evidence presented by Ghana and the accuracy of the allegations against Burkina Faso and the Wagner Group. All the evidence was checked, and the statement proves that the Wagner Group did nothing. This signals that Ghana's president is only blaming Burkina Faso. But why would he be doing it? We will talk about that by the end of the video, so stick to the end. First, we need to address a few more things to create a better understanding. So how have other African nations responded to the allegations? And what role do regional alliances play in shaping their positions? The allegations against Burkina Faso have prompted varied responses from other African nations, reflecting the regional alliances and diplomatic considerations. Some countries have expressed solidarity with Ghana, emphasizing the need for a thorough investigation to ascertain the truth. These nations argue that any external interference in the internal affairs of a sovereign state should be thoroughly examined to preserve regional stability. Conversely, other African nations have taken a more cautious approach, refraining from making hasty judgments and calling for a diplomatic resolution. Regional alliances, formed through organizations such as the African Union, may influence the positions of these nations, with considerations of regional stability and diplomatic harmony guiding their responses. What do other important nations think of this matter? Following Ibrahim Traore's mention of partnerships with Turkey and China, both nations have responded cautiously to avoid further escalation of the diplomatic dispute. While acknowledging their collaboration with Burkina Faso in the fight against terrorism, Turkey and China have emphasized the importance of a fair and impartial investigation into the allegations. The responses from Turkey and China indicate a commitment to diplomatic norms and the need for a transparent resolution. By not outright dismissing or confirming the collaborations mentioned by Traore, these nations maintain a balanced stance that encourages dialogue while ensuring the preservation of their international reputations. Burkina Faso's partnerships with Turkey and China affect its relations with other nations in the West African region. The collaborations in the fight against terrorism are viewed positively by some countries prioritizing regional stability and counterterrorism efforts. Burkina Faso's engagement with Turkey and China aligns with broader regional and global security objectives, particularly in the fight against terrorism. Collaborations with these nations indicate a commitment to addressing shared security challenges through international cooperation. The implications for the fight against terrorism involve the potential exchange of expertise, intelligence sharing, and joint efforts to counter extremist threats. However, the ongoing diplomatic dispute may introduce challenges to this cooperation, necessitating careful navigation to ensure that broader security objectives are not compromised. Now, let's return to the question: if Ghana's president is lying, why is he doing it? The answer to this complex inquiry points towards a narrative that suggests the president is perceived by many as a puppet controlled by the West. The assertion gains traction because various experts have provided evidence supporting this claim. The alleged control exerted by the West over Ghana's president raises significant concerns about the autonomy and decision-making capabilities of the nation's leader. This assertion implies that the president's actions and statements may not necessarily reflect the genuine interests and aspirations of the Ghanaian people, but rather serve the agenda of external forces. The president's purported declaration during the U.S. African Leaders Summit supports this narrative. This setting adds a layer of suspicion, suggesting a potential influence from the United States. The question arises whether the president's statements resulted from external pressure, or if underlying motives led to such a proclamation. Examining the dynamics of the U.S. African Leaders Summit provides insights into the potential influence on Ghana's president. The summit gathers African leaders in a diplomatic forum and discusses various issues, including economic cooperation, regional security, and political stability. However, it also allows external powers, such as the United States, to influence the participating nations. The question emerges: did the president feel compelled to align his statements with the interests of the West due to the dynamics of the summit? The influence exerted in such diplomatic settings is a subject of debate as leaders fight for a balance between national interests and external expectations. In this context, the suggestion of Ghana's president being a puppet implies a vulnerability to external pressures that may compromise the nation's sovereignty. Furthermore, The timing of the president's statement at the U.S. African Leaders Summit adds another layer of complexity. The assertion that Burkina Faso's leader is deliberately portrayed negatively on the international stage raises the question of motive. Why would external forces, particularly the West, be interested in undermining the image of Burkina Faso's leader? Burkina Faso's leader is defiant, prioritizing the interests of Africa over complying with Western expectations. This defiance, in turn, has allegedly led to a dislike from the West, prompting them to influence Ghana's president to blame Burkina Faso. The question arises, what specific actions or policies of Burkina Faso's leader have contributed to this perceived animosity from the West? Examining the leader's track record regarding policies, decisions, and diplomatic stances becomes crucial in understanding the roots of this alleged discord. Identifying concrete instances where Burkina Faso's leader opposed Western interests provides a basis for evaluating the claim's credibility. He has made many policies and decisions that showed the West its limits. Now let's come to the basic question. Why has Guyana's president made all the claims without evidence? In international relations, the responsibility of leaders, especially presidents, is immense. Accusations of terrorism against a nation carry significant weight and can have far-reaching consequences. The recent incident involving the president of Ghana accusing Burkina Faso of terrorism without substantial evidence has sparked a debate on the professionalism and ethical considerations of such statements. The controversy began when Ghana's president made a public statement accusing Burkina Faso of engaging in terrorist activities. The statement, made under apparent pressure from Western nations, raises concerns about the credibility and professionalism of such accusations. Accusing a nation of terrorism without concrete evidence damages diplomatic relations and puts the accused country in a precarious position internationally. Diplomacy is built on trust, respect, and adherence to international norms. Accusations of terrorism are serious charges that can have severe repercussions for a nation's reputation and security. Without solid evidence, such accusations strain diplomatic ties and erode the trust that nations place in each other. Leaders must exercise caution and responsibility when making public statements affecting global relations. The influence of Western nations on the actions of leaders in other parts of the world has been a recurring theme in international relations. In the case of Ghana, the accusations against Burkina Faso seem to be driven by external pressure. Leaders must navigate the delicate balance between international alliances and the need for independent decision-making. Succumbing to external pressure without sufficient evidence undermines a leader's credibility and the principles of fair and just governance. Burkina Faso's leader responded to the accusations with a strong stance, asserting the importance of truth and warning Ghana against making baseless allegations in the future. This response reflects the gravity of the situation and the need for leaders to uphold the principles of honesty and integrity in international discourse. Burkina Faso's leader emphasized the importance of evidence in diplomatic relations, highlighting the necessity of a careful and measured approach to such sensitive matters. Accusing a nation of terrorism without evidence has severe consequences that extend beyond diplomatic tensions. In extreme cases, it can lead to economic sanctions, isolation, and military intervention. The international community must be cautious about accepting unverified claims, as the repercussions can be dire. Leaders are responsible for ensuring their statements are grounded in truth and supported by credible evidence to avoid destabilizing global relations. Leadership comes with the obligation to act responsibly and ethically, especially in matters of international significance. Accusations of terrorism should not be made lightly, and leaders must prioritize truth and evidence over political expediency. Responsible leadership entails considering the potential impact of statements on both national and international levels and making decisions based on sound judgment rather than succumbing to external pressures. In the era of global interconnectedness, one nation's actions can have widespread implications. Accusations of terrorism without evidence not only harm bilateral relations, but also contribute to a broader atmosphere of mistrust and uncertainty. The international community, including organizations like the United Nations, should hold leaders accountable for baseless accusations, promote transparency, and foster a culture of evidence-based diplomacy. Accusations of terrorism should be channeled through established diplomatic channels, allowing for a thorough investigation and presenting evidence fairly and transparently. Leaders must resist the temptation to use such serious allegations as a tool for political actions or succumb to external pressures that compromise the principles of diplomatic professionalism. The recent exchange between Burkina Faso and Ghana leaders has brought to light the complexities of international relations. Burkina Faso's leader's assertive response to Ghana's accusations underscores the importance of mutual respect and the refusal to tolerate baseless allegations. Burkina Faso's leader's response to Ghana's accusations can be seen as a shut-up call, signaling a firm rejection of any unwarranted claims against his nation. This stance highlights a leader's commitment to protecting the reputation and sovereignty of their country, setting a precedent for other nations to follow. Burkina Faso's leader emphasizes that countries, regardless of their size or global influence, should not tolerate baseless accusations that can harm their standing on the international stage. The assertive response from Burkina Faso reflects a broader sentiment of upholding sovereignty and independence in international affairs. Nations, particularly those historically influenced by Western powers, increasingly assert their autonomy. Burkina Faso's leader's message is a reminder that every nation has the right to defend its integrity and resist unfounded allegations, regardless of external pressures. In the case of Ghana, the accusations against Burkina Faso are influenced by external pressure. Burkina Faso's leader's response challenges the idea that nations should unquestioningly follow the directives of Western powers and underscores the importance of making decisions based on their people's best interests. The exchange between Burkina Faso and Ghana emphasizes the need for mutual respect in international relations. Accusations without evidence strain diplomatic ties and erode the foundation of trust between nations. Burkina Faso's leader's firm stance calls for all nations, particularly those under Western influence, to recognize and respect every country's autonomy, dignity, and sovereignty. Burkina Faso's response has broader implications for global relations, urging a reconsideration of the dynamics between powerful nations and their smaller counterparts. The incident prompts a reflection on the responsibility of influential nations to approach international relations with sensitivity, acknowledging the diverse perspectives and realities of countries across the globe. Diplomacy plays a crucial role in resolving disputes and fostering understanding between nations. Burkina Faso's leader's response highlights the importance of diplomatic channels in addressing grievances and clarifying misunderstandings. Rather than resorting to public accusations, leaders should engage in constructive dialogue, allowing for a more nuanced and collaborative approach to problem solving. Do you think the West is controlling these nations? Why are African leaders not supporting other leaders who stand against the West? Is it okay to sell yourself for a few dollars? In the comment section, let us know who you support. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Deposit Photos Music.